That last one. All right, now that we have it this way, we want to get our seasonings. Let me wash my hands really quickly. I have my bowl here. Okay, so I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt here. Remember, this is pork, so you don't need a lot of salt. I have some celery seeds. Teaspoon and a half. I have some mustard seed. You want to get a teaspoon and a half of mustard seed. Half a teaspoon or 1 teaspoon of ground turmeric. Alright, we're going to need 2.5 teaspoons of paprika. I've heard it said paprika. Which is the right way to say that? I don't know. That's one of those tomato things, I guess. Is it? Or am I just assuming? It is pouring down rain here in St. Louis, y'all. You're also going to need some vinegar, and this is about 3 tablespoons of vinegar, and I'm just going to be using this to brush the dry skin so that we can get that skin nice and crisp. You're going to need about half a teaspoon of black pepper. And then I have some of my 21 seasoning salute, and I'm also going to add a little bit of my Green Goddess seasoning blend, just a little dash, just for that lemony taste. All right, now we're going to mix this up. And then also you're going to need some chicken broth. These were on sale at my Walmart. I need to go back. I bet they're all going now, but they were 50 cents. 50 cents for that. Yeah. And then I also got like Campbell's soup. They had like cream of mushroom. There was something else they had too. I can't remember. Cream of mushroom and cream of something else. And I was going to get the cream of celery, but I was like, we don't need cream of celery. They were 50 cents. I haven't seen Campbell's soup 50 cents for ages. I mean, I don't know how. It's been forever. All right, so let's get our pork roast back. All right, so we really want this seasoning on the bottom here. So you want to mix that up really well. This is what your seasoning mix will look like. And this meat is going to go in our green bean soup and on our sandwiches with our garlic and green onion bread that we made yesterday. Check out that video. It's posted already. So I'm going to sprinkle my seasoning here on. I'm also going to sprinkle a little bit of this into my veggies. I think he's going to be surprised when he comes home and sees how pretty everything looks. And then also I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees. Let's get that covered in our seasoning. All right, now you want to sit your pork shoulder up with the bottom facing into our veggies, like so. Let's get us a bed of veggies down first, just like that. And then you can see this meat that is exposed on the sides. You want to get some of your mixture in. And as you can see, I'm trying to avoid our skin. So also sprinkle some on your veggies. All right, next, we want to take our knife and cut into our pork skin here. Not necessarily trying to pierce it, but just to get it some nice slits, to give it some room once it cracks, starts to crack. So you can see I'm putting little cuts. You can see that little cut there. And that's what you want to do. All the way across. Wherever you have skin. And then I'm going to cross the other way. So you see there's an X. And I'm going to do that with... This is not the sharpest knife here. My husband needs to sharpen his knives. This is one of his knives. But it is doing what it needs to do. I guess it's like, don't get me twisted, y'all. Why did that just make me think of Keith Sweat? What's wrong with me? I don't know. Because he sings this song, Twisted. Okay. All right, so next you want to take some of your chicken broth. We're going to probably pour about, let's see, we want the broth just right at the midpoint with your vegetables. And try not to touch your pork. All right, I can just see the liquid here. So you can see it's not covering our veggies. It's just right at the level, right at the midway point of the vegetables. All right, now last and not least, you want to get your vinegar. And this is going to go in our oven uncovered. I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees. And you want to brush the skin with vinegar. Get a nice vinegar brush on. Did you know that in Germany, they had the first, Germany is responsible for the first newspaper. I don't know if we should be happy about that or should we be, you know, Germans made the first newspaper. Yeah, I got to give them their props. And they have a highway called the Autobahn where you can drive whatever speed you want. So when my son is about, I'm trying to do the dash. I want to do the dash. I cannot believe he said that. I'm still in shock, right? I said shock. This shows you how much of a shock I'm in. But, yeah, he was like, I try to do the dash. And I'm like, are you? Okay. So the question is not, are you nuts? But what the hell? You know what I'm saying? Doing the dash. Boy. But, you know, in Germany, you can do the dash. You can get on the Autobahn and go as fast as you like. You know, I wonder if they have, like, mad drivers. Like, if you going slow because you're just trying to get where you need to be. And you got other people that's going as fast as they want. I'm wondering how many, is it a lot of collisions? I'm going to have to look into that. All right, so I'm trying to get this skin all nice and vinegared. I mean, you got to ask yourself, yeah, you know. I wonder, is there a lot of accidents? Dude, I just don't know. He's a millennial. And I don't think, like, somehow some people are always like, millennial, blah, blah. Yeah, millennial, it was a time with my grandparents and my mom that was like, what the hell wrong with them? You know what I'm saying? So I just think that it takes a little longer nowadays. You know what I'm saying? The maturity thing takes a little bit longer, but don't get it twisted now, y'all. There are many people from many of the generations that are not mature and will not ever mature. So that's what I'm saying. I don't like talking about a certain supposedly generation of people because we all went through it. You know what I'm saying? It was the time when my grandparents and would be like, when they would tell those stories, I had to walk 77,000 miles to school and I had one shoe and a banana leaf tied to one foot and it was snow on the ground that was all the way up to my hips and I had to walk to school. Now, and I'm not, okay. And I would be like, what? your parents should have been arrested. I would think that. I wouldn't say it because, you know, back then they'd be like, pow, right in the kisser. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, every generation, we all the same. And we all be like, oh, look at them youngsters. And then they be like, oh, old people get on my nerves. But then when it all come down to it, we all living here trying to make it. And that's all it is. And it's generations. I mean, you know, we raise the next generation. Y'all got to remember that. All right. So this is the German style. And I'm going to say pork knuckle, but it's pork shoulder. And I'm going to throw this in my 350-degree oven. And it's going to cook all dang on day. It's going to cook all day. And then right at the end, I'm going to cut the, you know, cut the oven up. Like up. And then let that skin try anyway to get that skin to be like crispy. I'm doing it on purpose. All right, y'all. So I'm going to get this in my oven. And then I'm going to finish up my German plum cake because it is done with its second rise. So come on back and let me finish this plum cake. And I only got my green bean soup left to make. I even did my ice cream scoop cookies. I'm kicking butt. And it is currently 12 o'clock. I'm kicking ass. And I had to say that. I'm kicking ass today. All right, let's get this in the oven. Let me get this pork roast, this pork shoulder, our German pork shoulder here, out of our oven. And we're going to baste it again with some vinegar. Let's check on it. Ooh. The skin is crisping up. So we're going to brush it again with some vinegar. It's looking really, look at this. Oh my gosh, it looks beautiful. Look at this. Oh yeah, look at that delicious rockin' roast. And then look at this part. Look. Oh gosh, it's gonna be delicious, y'all. You can see where I cut my little stripe, my little X's and stuff in that. That's doing really, really, really good. So let's take our vinegar and we're gonna do another brushing. And before I put this vinegar on, I dragged this roast out as best as possible. And then this is just regular vinegar. This is the vinegar that I use when I'm canning. So I'm just going to keep brushing this. This is my second coat of vinegar here. I got to remember this pan is hot as I turn it. And this is going to go on our sandwiches tonight. These should be real nice. And then we're going to have some crispy pork crackling on that. Make sure you get every inch of that skin because the vinegar is what helps to crisp that up. If you didn't know, now you know. Yeah, I don't do that well. Now I don't do that very well. Maybe I could, but it's just not necessary. It's not something that I think is necessary. So yeah. I think he was Notorious B.I.G. was a good rapper. If you don't know, now you know. Okay, so a question that I have about this whole Puff Daddy thing. Real question. This is a real serious question as y'all look at this pork roast. Coming from somebody who is a registered nurse. Let me just say this. Okay, now, this is a question that I have, and maybe somebody can answer it. Now, if there was something in the baby oil, was Puff Daddy and his friends immune to this substance that was in the baby oil? Because baby oil get on everything. It get on everything. I mean, you won't be meaning it to, but if you putting baby oil on somebody, trust and believe, you going to get some on yourself. Even if it's hand contact, you just like, we rubbing it on them. If you squirting it on them, and then you like, let's get it on, you going to get some baby oil on you. So my question, serious question here is, first question, were they immune to the whatever they was putting in the oil? Did they wear plastic bodysuits? I don't know how they would have went down. Okay. And then the second would be, what the heck did you put in that? Do you know what kind of concentration you need to put some stuff on somebody that's going to make them literally go out? You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about like skin-wise, topical. Now, one thing that I do know about would be nitro paste, but that's for like heart attacks. Okay. And it'll drop your blood pressure fast as a, you know, I was going to say about as fast as somebody dropped their pants. I don't know who dropped their pants, but I'm just saying. So these are questions that we must ponder when we think about things like that. Now, as far as him doing the things that he was doing to people, oh yeah, he did that. Yes. Allegedly. But the baby oil thing, I don't know about that. Like, seriously. I don't know about something. I don't know. But like I said, we don't know. I don't know everything. None of us know everything. If you know what they put in that oil that would have knocked the person out and knocked them, leave me a comment in the section below. Get this conversation started. Why did the stuff not work on them when they was putting it on the people? Because they was touching them. I'm just saying, let me put this back in the oven, because then I start getting all hyped up and start thinking about, things. All right, y'all. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is going back in my oven to slow roast. This has been in there now for about 2 hours to slow roast a lot longer. So, this is out of the oven. The German pork knuckle. Listen to this. It's crispy. It worked. It is crispy all over. And then look at that meat down there. Look at this. Y'all know y'all want some of this. But this is my German pork knuckle, or pork shoulder. Right? Ain't that what this is?
It's pork shoulder roast, yeah.
Yeah, it's pork shoulder roast. All right, y'all. So I'm going to be cutting this up and putting this on my sandwiches for our date night in Germany. All right, y'all. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It's the finished pork roast, or pork shoulder, German pork knuckle. And my husband's going to cut some of this out so I can have some for the soup. And then he's going to cut some also for the sandwiches that we're going to be doing. You hear this? Listen to that. Listen to that.
Wow. Oh, it's falling apart. That's like good crispy skin. Yeah, that's just falling apart on its own. Yeah. Good pieces there.
All right.
Is that enough? Okay.
All right, let me get over. Let me show y'all what this skin is like. Look at this. It's like glass. Look at this. Crackly and good. All right, so this is our roast German pork knuckle. And we're going to use this to make sandwiches, and I'm about to do some green bean soup. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And tell me you don't want none of this. Make this recipe, y'all. Like, share, and subscribe. We're going to make our German pig knuckle sandwiches. So I'm going to cut some slices of our bread here. I'm going to cut the ends off because those can be eaten separately. That looks great. And so what I'm going to do is use probably 2 pieces to make a wider sandwich, because I could have put it in a bigger pan, but I didn't. And I'm good with this. Let me show you. This is bread. It is so cool. And there's a top. So there should be garlic all throughout this bread.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So first we're going to toast them, huh?
To make it wider.
Yeah, and then I'm just going to do like an open face.
2 at the bottom, open, next to each other.
Yeah. All right, and then I want to make sure we have some bread left for the rest of the week. We don't eat a lot of bread anyway. All right. So I'm going to put some butter in my pan here. Did you get meat? And then we got our meat all. I think I'm gonna toast these. So I'm just trying to see how I'm gonna do this as I go along. So first I'm gonna toast the bread on both sides. So we got these toasted on one side for sure. So once the other side is toasted, I'm gonna move this out and throw in my pork. Let me show you guys the pork that we have here. So it fell apart. This was that whole pork shoulder. This is some of the tenderest pork shoulder I've ever made. Because usually it'd be tough,
That's good. Caramelized.
Alright, so let's take these out. Yeah. now I want to add my pork. What you doing? Put that in here.
Yeah, some of that dark meat. Fatty. Skin. That's too hard.
Yeah, that's hard.
Oh, this is like really good.
You can have a piece of that on top of it.
That was good dark meat.
Just a whole chunk of it.
Yeah, juicy stuff.
Alright. So good. You want to throw on some of the vegetables. Just a little bit to saute with them.
Mirepoix. Garlic.
Alright. Alright, so I'm going to get this nice and hot. Alright, so now I already flipped it. It's a little crispy on this one side. Almost dropped the cheese. I got all pork grease on my hands. So I have some aged white cheddar. Let me flip this one more time. You can see it's like nice crispy pork pieces in there. Alright, and then I'm going to put on 4 pieces of cheese. Alright, so I'm going to let this cheese melt. Alright, so let me put my bread on the plate. So I want to put them end to end like this where they're bumping. Some of the vegetables from the pork, some cheese, pork, and we're just going to put that right on top of that garlic onion bread. Alright, that's open-faced German roasted pork knuckle sandwich number 1. And here comes number 2. Uh-oh, I just dropped the whole piece of bread and broke it in half and everything. You won't know that once this is covered. Let's cut this off. Alright. Then you want to put that on your bread. And then I also put just a dash of the green goddess seasoning on top of the cheese. Alright, and then this is number 2. So this is the open-faced roast pork knuckle, German pork knuckle sandwich on that green onion, garlic butter bread. You know what? I know you want some of this because I want some of this. Don't you want some of this?
I want some of this.
I want some. All right, we going to get our soup scooped up next, but we about to enjoy this dinner. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So this is our date night dinner. We have our open-faced German pork knuckle sandwich. You see that nice crispy piece of skin. And that is on the green onion garlic butter bread that I made yesterday. And then we have green bean soup, which looks really nice. I love some green beans. And then for dessert, we have our plum cake, German plum cake. So this is what we having for our night in Germany, y'all. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is what we're having for dinner tonight. What are you having? And he's going to pull out my chair.